And then on Thursday night, right up the road from my hometown in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the Panthers are going to be playing host to the Boston College Eagles. An old Big East war. 17-15, Pittsburgh leads the all-time series. Last year, we had a one-point battle. Boston College prevailed 31-30 in Chestnut Hill. Pitt has a 17-15 all-time lead in this series. Like, this is just one of those games that even though you look at the teams and they may not seem that good, especially Pitt, being that they've only won 2 games. One of them was against Wofford. You think this isn't going to be a good game. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of rushing yards in this game. So if you are the type that like smash mouth football down your throat and all that stuff, so to speak, of course, then this is the game for you, right? Now, saying I'll be here tomorrow with a preview for Friday night, Colorado at Washington State on the Palouse, and all that. Saying we're going to talk about some coaching carousel, but for the moment, let's focus on this. So this game had a lot more juice coming into the season because Phil Dracovic, Boston College quarterback at the time, transferred. He ended up at Pitt once Keaton Slovis went to BYU. So it was like, okay, he's going to have a game against his former team at some point. But he was rendered ineffective and useless. So then Christian Valaire came in the game. It's not Velu or whatever. I heard some other things out there, but he put it out there. It's Valaire, the French tone and everything like that. So he came into the game, former Penn State quarterback, was supposed to be the future over there in Happy Valley, ends up at Pitt, and then he comes into this season, more interceptions to touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But Pitt does have one thing to their credit. They beat number 8 in the AP poll, Louisville, number 10 in the college football playoff, Louisville, by 17 a few weeks ago. That was their last win back on October 14th. So what has happened since then? Pitt has been getting whooped for the most part. In their current 4-game losing streak, they've scored 44 points total. For those of you that don't want to do the math, that's 11 points per game. They went out here and lost by about 1 million to Notre Dame. They lost to Wake Forest during this streak. But last week, you would think that the Pitt defense played great. They gave up 17 pass yards to Syracuse. So you're thinking to yourself, wow, that defense. Problem is, Syracuse ran for 382 yards. Boston College last week gave up 600 total yards to Virginia Tech in a 48-22 loss. They were outrushed 363 to 124. So that's why I mentioned earlier, there should be a lot of running in this game. These defenses are awful. But if Pitt does want to take it to the air, they might find a little success, because we just found out after the game Saturday that star BC corner Elijah Jones is out for the rest of the season. Non-injury, we don't know why. Jeff Lafley just put it out there that he's not expected to be back this year. Why is that important? Because he leads BC with 5 interceptions. He's won Defensive Back of the Week twice in the ACC, which I did not even know was an award. I knew you had your Offensive Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week. I didn't know they broke it down into positions, but that's a big loss, but can Pitt take advantage of it? That's going to be the question. BC counters with Thomas Castellanos. You remember him against Florida State running up and down the field, and that's the reason why everybody thinks Florida State is overrated to this day. Is because Florida State had to go to BC and play the bandana game where BC goes all out. Now, he's second in the nation in rushing, and as far as quarterbacks go, with 806 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. So expect a lot of him. BC is now bowl eligible. They're 6-4. So this is only going to improve their bowl game position possibly. Pitt is just trying to salvage what's left of their season. They lost to West Virginia. But the good news is for Pat Narduzzi, is that he got the vote of confidence the other day. So it sounds like he's going to be back for 2024 to come and right the ship. So now there's no pressure on you. So your team just comes out and plays without pressure, unless they're still pissed off at you because after that Notre Dame game, he came out to the press conference talking about how he thought, they lost a bunch of players from last year. The players are supposed to be better. The players that he recruited, by the way. So maybe Pitt's in a downfall, if you will. But last I saw, they were favored in this game. But I'm going with BC, something along the lines of 28-17. It might be a little more high scoring than that if the running game goes the way that I think it's going to go. But for now, I'm going to go 28-17 BC, and I will see you tomorrow.